What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Stock Up with Larry Jones channel. My name is Tim Warren, and I am from the Investing Bros YouTube channel, and I'm here today to talk a little crypto investing with you guys. We're going to talk about the 5 coins that I believe every single crypto investor should be holding. If you only could choose 5, these are the 5 you absolutely should have. I want to get into that here in just a couple of minutes, but first, if you guys are looking for more information from me, aside from even my YouTube channel, I am going to be teaching some trading indicators and packages over in the education Stock Up You here with Larry Jones. There's so many great content creators that have built up here. That just is a testament to how amazing Larry Jones has been over the years. You guys are subscribed to him, you know it, but if you're not signed up for this university, you're missing out. Thousands of people have changed their lives financially by signing up for Stock Up You. And again, here very shortly, you'll be able to see me and several other people with a bunch of content in there teaching you how to trade and how to increase your wealth day in and day out. So make sure to sign up with that in the link down below. Let's get into it, though. 5 coins that every single person should hold, in my personal opinion. Let's get here to coin number 1. It's going to be a pretty easy one, but let's go to it. It's Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. Every single person should own Bitcoin. Why is that? Why should you own Bitcoin? Well, guys, it was the first cryptocurrency ever created. For those who don't know, it's created back in 2009 and ultimately created by an anonymous source called Satoshi Nakamoto. We don't know if that's one person or many, but it was created because of the inflation of fiat currency. Satoshi Nakamoto knew that someday money would be a major problem, and so he created the first ever digital hard money with a max cap at 21 million coins. There will never be any more than 21 million, and it is the strongest force of finance this world has ever seen. But that's just why it was created. What could you expect here over the next year or so as we look for potential bull market top towards the end of 2025? Well, Bitcoin price at the time of me making this video is trading somewhere around $58,500. But there's a reasonable expectation based off of where we believe crypto's market cap will be, probably sitting around $11 trillion. Bitcoin should be eating a sizable portion of that. We could see the price of Bitcoin jump all the way between 175,000 to potentially even as high as 220,000. Now, some people believe it could go a lot higher than that, but I believe I'm being conservative here by saying I do believe, based off of the mass adoption that will come into Bitcoin, I think that we're looking potentially in the next year between a 3 to potentially 4x in Bitcoin, best case scenario. Is that going to be your greatest return on investment? Probably not, but it is something that I do believe in the future. It's a long-term hold. In the future, people will be judged, their wealth will be judged based off of how many Bitcoin they own. And just do some simple math really quickly while you're at it. There's over 60 million millionaires in the world right now, but only 21 million Bitcoin will ever exist. What that means is not even every single millionaire can own one. Right now, for the cheap price of $58,000, you can own a whole Bitcoin. If you are able to get to that level, you will go into the top 1% of wealth easily within the next 20 years. Bitcoin has got to be in your portfolio. Let's go to coin number 2, though, and we're not going to get too crazy with it, but coin number 2 is the second largest cryptocurrency. It is called Ethereum. This is the symbol for it. Now, Ethereum wasn't created back in 2009. It came out a couple of years later, but ultimately, this is the coin that I think is going to serve institutional adoption the greatest. It's going to allow institutions into the world of Web3, going past the modern day internet, which we call Web 2, and allow them to get integrated into this great technology. Ultimately, one of the biggest complaints about Ethereum is the high gas fees. But that actually is a beautiful thing, because those high gas fees keep fraudulent or dumb projects from building their ecosystem inside Ethereum. It gives you a nice, wealthy barrier of entry that only institution or well-funded organizations are going to be building inside of Ethereum. That's why we call it the institutional coin here in crypto. Some people even call it digital oil. It is something absolutely, I believe, that every single person should be owning. But now you might be wondering, Tim, what would an investment of Ethereum today look like in about a year from now? Well, current price of Ethereum is trading somewhere here around $2,600, just barely above it. I think, though, reasonably, we're going to be seeing Ethereum on the low end get closer towards $13,000 $12,500. And I think realistically, we might see anywhere between 18 to 20,000. What that means for price action, if you were to invest, you could see upwards of a 5 to potentially 7x in your return on your investment. Of course, there's going to be some coins later on this list that have a greater return than that, but that's even better than a return on Bitcoin. Am I as maybe convicted about the longevity of Ethereum as much as Bitcoin? Not necessarily. I think Bitcoin has a lot more safety to it. And as most of you know, if you get into the world of investing, the riskier the asset, the greater the reward, but the less riskier the asset, the less great the reward potential will be. Well, because the risk for Bitcoin is so low, that's why we're only talking about somewhere between a 3 to 4x. Ethereum, you're getting a little more risky, but I still see this as a top coin, a safe investment. So therefore, we're talking about a 5 to potentially 7x in your investment. Ethereum is my second coin I think that everyone should be holding. Let's keep the boring train going and get to coin number 3. It's going to be Solana. Solana actually has been the number 3 coin here over the last couple of months. It's back down to number 4 below Binance, but Solana is a coin that I think that everyone should own. Now, remember how I said with Ethereum that I thought that that was the institutional coin. It's the one that institutions are going to build on and get into the Web3 space, and it has a barrier of entry. Well, if you're investing in an institutional coin, I think you also should invest in a coin of the people, and that's exactly what Solana is. Unlike Ethereum, it's way faster, way cheaper. Literally anyone can go in there and build on the ecosystem right now. That is why Solana has had such an amazing rally in the early stages of this bull market since the bear market lows, because it's not a coin that's waiting for mass adoption or waiting for institutional money to flow in. They're a coin of the people, and the most development over the last year has happened in this ecosystem, and I don't see that going anywhere anytime soon. This is absolutely a coin you should own. Own the coin of the institutions, but also own the coin of the people. Let's take a look at what you could expect with a return in Solana. Now, this is going to be a little harder to judge here, especially as we get into these higher risk coins, but I reasonably do expect Solana to make its way into the over 300 to potentially $500 billion market cap area. Current price of Solana is sitting about $142, but I see price eventually over the next year potentially getting, I think over 1,000 is pretty much at this point almost a guarantee. But could we push closer towards 1,600? We're looking at a range right now, if you were to invest today, of somewhere between an 8.5x to potentially even as high as an 11x. So we're starting to cook with some grease here with our investments. We're still not into the big dogs just yet, but this is a coin that I think has a long way to go to the upside. Everything you've seen bullishly so far, like in this time period between last October and today, this is simply the start. This isn't a flash in the pan. This isn't about to go anywhere. You actually could, even if you're a technical analyst, notice that there's kind of a bull flag pattern going on here. This would send the Solana price up to these levels I'm talking about. I do believe Solana has to be in your crypto portfolio if you want to be making some safe money over the next year. But let's get to coin number 4. I told you with Bitcoin, you're really only expecting a 3 to 4x. Ethereum, only a 5 to 7. With Solana, I'm going to use the word still only, but only an 8 to 11x. Let's talk about 2 other coins that have massive upside with potential massive profit coming in. Coin number 4 on the list, it's going to be Chainlink. Now, there are some people who don't like Chainlink. There's some people who think it's old tech. It's not going to work. But let me tell you, if Bitcoin is the coin of generational wealth, if Ethereum is the coin of the institutions, and Solana is the coin of the people, Chainlink is the coin of the bankers or the money. And some people are going to say XRP on that. But if you look at the relationships and the fundamentals that Chainlink is working on right now, it is not XRP that's being adopted by the banks and the massive money institutions like Swift, for example. It is Chainlink. So picture the future. Every single time that money is transacted, whether it's crypto or whether it's fiat or whether it's any other form of money, think of the transactions that will happen and how it's going to be processed in a fast, trustless, and cheap way. Chainlink is the answer. It is going to explode. This is where I get a lot of pushback from a lot of people. Some people call me a Chainlink maxi. I'm just a believer in what the technology is and what the future looks like. Current price action for Chainlink trading here at about $10. But this is a coin that I think is going to get close. It's not going to pass it, but potentially start to get closer towards the market cap of Solana. We're talking about major gains, over 300% 300 billion potentially coming in. But I'm going to give you a wide range here because it's a higher risk. I'm going to have a wider range. I think on the low end, I believe in the low end, Chainlink is at least going up above $200. But realistically, I see this coin pushing much closer to, if not above, 500. And this would give us a coin with massive returns. If you were to invest at $10 today, we're talking about low end 21x and potential high end pushing towards that 50x. That is where you're going to start making some real money. I don't want to promise you this. I want to make sure everyone understands this isn't financial advice, and I cannot guarantee these things. This is based off of speculation about how great something can be in the future. However, I always tell everyone from Investing Bros, price is downstream of fundamentals. Take a look at things like the 90s price for Apple stock, for Amazon stock, for Google stock. The prices weren't necessarily great. And even at times, especially with Amazon, a lot of people worried about the longevity of that company. But what Jeff Bezos knew that nobody else processed with him is that his company was not valuated by the price per stock. It was valuated by what they accomplished. And sure enough, anyone who had believed in that fundamentals and not just looked at the price to make their investing decision would be a very, very wealthy person right now. I think the same is safe for Chainlink, where you're looking and saying, based off of the relationships that they have and what they do, this is the type of fundamentals that leads to massive, massive gains. And it's going to happen a lot faster than some people think. That's my coin number 4. Now we're going to get into coin number 5 here. And I made a video on my channel where I put a little bit of a safer pick. I put a pick that had more to do with decentralization. If you guys want to see that one, go watch my video over on Investing Bros. But I had a great conversation with Larry, and we came to the conclusion that it's time to put in a high risk token here. And some people are going to like this. Some people aren't going to like this. But ultimately, when you're investing, you want your safe picks like the Bitcoins and the Ethereums and the Solanas, but you got to get a little bit of cheese out there for the higher risk, high reward plays. Like I said earlier, the lower the risk, less money you possibly will make. But when you risk it for the biscuit, those oftentimes are the coins that give you the highest return possible. The coin we're going to talk about here, some people, especially if you know me, if you're from the Investing Bros channel, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm going to throw it out here. Larry and I discussed this. It is Bonk. This is a meme coin, meaning a coin that doesn't necessarily have true utility the way the other 4 do, but it's a coin that represents just the heartbeat of the people, meaning it's kind of a stick it to the man type of project. But we've watched this project that really represents nothing climb to almost 2 billion. I think at one point we had a $2 billion market cap for Bonk, but I think there's a chance, an outside chance, that it could go way higher than that. But to understand how high it could go, I want to go a little deeper here with Bonk and explain to you why I'm going to get the price predictions that I have here. Now, Bonk is a meme coin, but it's a very popular one. Let's think about another popular meme coin that people have used and talked about in the past. And to take a look at that, I want to go back over here, which I got to mess with my screen here. I didn't have this quite where I wanted it. On CoinMarketCap, we got to go to historical snapshots. And I want to talk about in 2021, the high that Dogecoin got to. And I'll explain why I'm making that comparison here in a second. But let's go back like to May 9th, give or take, and take a look at what's happening here. Dogecoin rose as high as the number 4 altcoin in all of cryptocurrency. It had a market cap at the time of $73.8 billion. Now, the reason I bring this up is because it's very significant where a coin is ranked, depending on what percentage of dominance it could have over all of the market. And at the time, a Dogecoin being ranked number 4, the total crypto market cap was sitting at $2.56 trillion, which quick math would mean we had roughly just below a 3% dominance for Dogecoin at the time of this price action. Well, what's my overarching point here? At the very, very high end level, where could we potentially see Bonk get to? Well, the ceiling would be a repeat of a Dogecoin portfolio where we got 3% of the total market cap. I've told you earlier in this video, if you go watch my channel, I believe that crypto, and I can't get too much into it in this video because it would take me way longer to explain, but I believe crypto could see a level of close to $11 trillion in market cap. If we had just 3% of that dominance, we're talking about a market cap of $330 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, if we had a market cap of $300 billion, let's go to Bonk's chart. That would give us a price prediction of, I don't know. I think it's like zero. Do I even have a price prediction for that one? I actually don't even know. That would give us a price prediction way higher than these two I have. I have a more realistic one, but we're probably looking at closer towards 0.01 cent. So 1 cent per coin. Is that possible? I want to let you know it is possible, but I don't think it's very probable. We're going to be a little more realistic with our expectation. $330 billion, just a little high for this bull market. But let's talk about where I think realistically we could get. Realistically, I do think this is a project that could get somewhere between $50 to $100 billion per market cap. Why? Well, Dogecoin in a less mature market made it all the way to 73 billion. I don't think that's absolutely that crazy to think that at least 50, but again, high end 100 billion happens for Bonk. And that would give us a price prediction of somewhere between 0.0006 and 0.001, or in other words, 0.06 cents or 0.1 cents. That right now at a current investment of, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros and 175, we could see a return on a Bonk investment of upwards of 38 to potentially 70x in your portfolio. That would be absolutely amazing. Now, I want to make sure you understand, because when you have these potentially great returns, it also comes with the highest risk. There's a scenario out there with Bonk that it does very little and almost barely hits new all-time highs and only comes up, seeing like a 3 or 4x. But if Bonk does compete the way Larry and I think potentially it could become maybe a new Doge, looking at a potential of 36, 37 to 70x is not necessarily so crazy. But with that coin, I especially urge you, invest with caution. Make sure that does not hold a heavy portion of your portfolio. That, though, is the top 5 coins that I think that investors should be holding right now. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink, and Bonk. There's so many other great projects out there. And if you want to learn more about them, not only does Larry talk about some great projects here on the channel, but you can also check out Investing Bros and where my YouTube channel is, and I'll tell you some more that are good investments. But with that said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like, hit subscribe, leave a comment and some love for Larry during this trying time for his family. But with that said, guys, I'll see you in another video. Adios.